Coming up on Gotcha Covered Sports with Danny B and Matt McCarthy, former NBA referee Tim Donaghy on Legalized Gambling.
How you guys doing today?
Wonderful.
Hey, we got to be excited. Sports betting is here. I've been waiting my entire career, guys, and it's finally here.
Does it really affect you that much?
Oh, it definitely does.
Or does it affect, big companies that are looking to open up sports books?
It's going to affect everybody. It's good for everybody, and I'll tell you why. There's people that have been listening to my show for 20-something years that loved it, but they were afraid to do it. Why? Because it was illegal. Right. It's not illegal no more. For years, you had to go online, offshore, bet with a underground bookie. No more. So people are going to come. Wall Street money right here in Manhattan. Going to come out of the woodwork, make it more feasible, accessible for everybody. So I'm excited, man.
Well, I think finally, we're going to have people not killing each other in the streets because it's legal.
Yes, sending money overseas, unnecessarily so.
Get some tax dollars. They can go to New Jersey now.
Well, not just yet. There was a little slight delay. I'm under the understanding that it was supposed to be the 28th of May. They put it off to, I think, June 7th, and that's a hypothetical date, I think.
So what's the holdup?
Just getting everything into order. The dot the I's, cross the T's, all that neat stuff, so it doesn't go rogue. You know what I'm saying?
And these other places that already advertised, like Monmouth, I think, was advertising.
Well, they're on hold, and their goal was to start Memorial Day weekend, from what I understood. And now that's on hold until they work the kinks out. And like I said, dot the I's and T's. But it's good. It's good for everybody. For years, people have been going offshore. Costa Rica, Jamaica, Aruba, Antigua. I can go on and on. They don't have to do that no more. Go right to Mammoth. And eventually, New York, Delaware, Pennsylvania. We'll spread our way out west. This is just good stuff. I'm excited, guys. Very excited.
It's kind of like the legalization of weed, I guess you would say, because it's going to take time.
I'm not opposed to that either.
Eventually, New York and everybody else are going to have it too. I'm assuming, right?
Why not?
100%, right?
And there's always going to be there's always going to be the underground. No matter what we do, no matter what we say, there's always going to be that underground bookie. You can't replace him. You ain't going to get rid of him, nor should you. Why? Because people want to bet on credit. That's the bottom line, and they shouldn't bet on credit. So it works for me either way. I'm excited. More people are going to get involved. Just go to dbwins.com. Check us out. Grab a membership, $29 a month. We're out to revolutionize this industry, okay? I found this guy, Nate Rollins. You've met him.
Yeah.
He's a nut. I love him, but he's insane. He's got an IQ of 160. He developed this software some years ago when he was at Lehigh. It's brilliant. Guaranteed to hit at least 55% every month. If not, you get the next month free, Matt. That's the bottom line. dbwins.com. I've been waiting my whole career. I've been in this business since 94, and it's been illegal or gray since, so.
1894.
1894, the gold rush, yeah. But you know what I'm saying. I've been doing this a long time, radio since 94, the score phone days. So I, of all people, the score phone, you guys forget about the cell phones. The score phones were great.
Was that 970 number?
No, it was an 800 number.
800
and they had the local numbers. Actually, I think Craig Carton used to call those things, he said, the last time we talked to him. A lot of people did. And I was the voice of America for many years. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm glad to be here at Studio 34, Madison Square Garden, right across the street. Got my fantasy guys. We're going to put together such a great team this year. I'm very excited. And we're going to use your rugby tips, Matt. Talk about what you're doing.
Well, we got rugby. Dan, as you know, and we've talked about this a lot, there's professional rugby now in the United States. There was one attempt at it 2 years ago. It ended up in a little bit of litigation, a little mess. It's going to go through the court system, blah, blah, blah.
Is it being accepted, though, right now?
Yeah. So now
are people betting on it, U.S. people, or is it basically the European market?
Globally, there's a
huge
big
globally,
thing.
yes.
Huge, right? So with these new teams, they just started in April.
Right.
So, on our show, Rugby Wrap-Up, we pick the games. We're not using point spreads right now. We're just picking winners.
I have no clue how rugby works, so I'm be counting on you for those picks.
It's similar to
and you
American
for your
football.
fantasy picks, because I know nothing about fantasy. My arena is sports betting. Simple as that. I was a bookie for years, worked offshore.
And this guy knows what he's talking about. He's got all the experience. He's been through all the different aspects of gambling. You name it, he has been there, and he has been in every medium. And now you're going to get this for $29.99 a month, which that's just shocks me.
Nobody's going to do better than we're going to do for you. This software is impeccable. It's amazing.
And what you talk about is 55%, where all these other guys have promised, I'll get you 70%, I'll get you 90%. You've been always honest about that.
It's more like 57, 58%, but I'm going to guarantee at least 55%.
Which is successful.
You don't have to hit but 53.8% to make money unless you're paying obnoxious fees to handicappers.
Right.
He's a fantasy guru too.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. But I taught him about sports betting about 2 months ago, and he put all that into the blender, I call it, and it works for sports betting, and it works great. So we have 60 days under the belt. We've tried it. It works, so we're ready to guarantee 55%. Just go to dbwins.com. Tim Donaghy, the former referee, works with me since 2010. He's fantastic knowing the referee assignments, their habits, who they like, who they don't like. He wrote about that in his book, Personal Foul. And I think Tim will be joining us shortly in this segment.
What's the most difficult sport to bet?
Depends on your strength. You know, my best sport, easiest sport is baseball because I know it. It's my passion. But some years I'm better at one sport than the other. It's just the way it is. You know, I might have a good football season in the NFL and a subpar college season. It's about balance. It's about consistency. Staying within yourself, not betting over your head, having the money to bet, and money management.
And long haul.
Long haul. This is just no different. That's why I want the Wall Street people now.
We got to take a quick break.
Okay,
and I
fine.
think we got Donaghy coming in next.
Oh, fantastic. Let's
All
go
right?
to break then, Matty.
Take a quick break.
We'll be back.
Hey, rugby fans, rugby is everywhere. The giant is awakening, and Rugby Wrap-Up is there with the alarm clock. Rugby Wrap-Up, global rugby coverage, sometimes with a wink. Weekly studio shows, daily website content, breaking news, evolving stories, the biggest names in the game on camera, all over social media. Pundits from all corners of the planet, local, global, professional, amateur, female, and male. Find it all on rugbywrapup.com.
Been blind since I was 4. And I've never seen a beer commercial or a beer label. None of that stuff influences me. I drink beer because of the taste. And my beer's Pabst Blue Ribbon. It has the taste and the flavor.
What do you think's on the label?
I think there's a naked woman riding on a unicorn, jumping over fire. Oh, that's good beer.
If you're in New York City and want to watch some great rugby, have some great food, and some great times, go to the world's best rugby pub, the Pig and Whistle on West 36th Street.
Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the show. I'm Danny B with my co-host Matt McCarthy from MeetTheMats.com, also the RugbyWrapup.com. And from the Fantasy Sports Network, we have our friend Chris over here. He's going to share some fantasy tips with us. Tim Donaghy of RefPicks.com, also author of Personal Foul. Timmy, how are you, buddy?
Good. What's happening?
The ruling on sports betting, how does this affect you? How does this affect everybody? Your thoughts on it, please.
I think it affects us, not me, but me and you together, because of the fact that people now have an opportunity to bet legally, and they're not concerned with are they committing a crime. They're going to be able to walk into a 7-Eleven or an airport or an NBA arena and place a bet, knowing that they're doing something legally.
I'm feeling good about it. We've been together, Tim, since 2010. We've made people a lot of money over the years, and a big deterrent is getting paid from the offshore casinos. So for us, people like me and you, Tim, we're excited about the new laws. I definitely am. I remember a few years back, you had a guy, he made 30 grand in a couple of days. He couldn't get paid. And by the time he got the money, you know, it was like 2 months later. So I'm ecstatic about the new changes here coming soon.
How do you think that it affects the fantasy world in particular? I mean, is it going to hurt it, help it? Is it all going to come together, like, and work together in some way where companies are basically going to do both, and you know they're going to help each other out?
I think it's all positive. I think it's all going to work together. There are going to be situations where things are definitely created and mergers are going to take place. I mean, if you listen to Mark Cuban, I've exchanged some emails with him. He's over the moon. He's saying that this whole thing is going to double the value of his franchise. It's going to create a lot of ways for the fans to interact in live game betting when they're sitting in the seats at the arena. It's going to get people to tune in to the TV games and stay longer, even though it may be a 20 or 25 point blowout. So I think the opportunities are absolutely endless. And like Danny just said, it's an opportunity for everybody, and we're excited.
Tim, Matt McCarthy, how soon do you think the rest of the states are going to fall in line, like with the domino effect here?
Quickly, very quickly. I think when you talk about money, and we all know everybody loves money, there's a lot of opportunity here, and they're all going to capitalize on the tax dollars and everything that they can capitalize on. And we're going to bring most of it that was underground, overground. I had a talk with Danny about this the other day, and you're still going to have those underground bookies because people aren't going to want to pay the 1% to the leagues. They're not going to want to pay the capital gains to their taxes. So I don't think it's going to wipe out the bookies like everybody else thinks it is. I agree with what Danny has to say with that. So I think it's a win-win situation. And when you have that guy that just wants to bet as a form of entertainment, and we couldn't find a place for him to bet, that opens up a lot of doors for us. And I think people are going to find this very enjoyable moving forward.
No doubt, Tim. We know this has been a dilemma for a long time now. So, of all people, me and you, we're very excited about the ruling. It starts in New Jersey. It'll work its way out west. California, a bulk of my advertisement's been spent in California since 1994 because it was easy to get to Las Vegas, right? But still, a lot of people don't get to Vegas. But they were intrigued. They wanted to get involved with sports, but they were afraid. But now they don't have to be afraid because they can do it legally. Sports betting can be more lucrative than any investment if you do it the right way. Honestly, it's transparent. There's no BS. You know you won. You know you lost. You might not like the results. You might not like watching somebody miss a chippy or a dunk that cost you the game, but at least you know you lost. With the stock market, where you look at the thing, you say, oh, it's up, it's down, it's crazy. Who cares about what they're doing in Europe? I care about what's going on here. I care about what's going on here between the lines. So sports betting, to me, transparent. I love it. Just go to dbwins.com, grab that $29 membership. You'll be sold.
Where are you going to end up in this? Are you acting as a consultant?
The opportunities are endless. I think there's a lot of different avenues to go to. Danny and I have been together for a long time. We're going to continue, hopefully, to stay together and capitalize on doing this the right way and helping people out. Again, people have been gambling for years. They love it. It's a form of entertainment. Some people like to drink. Some people like to smoke. Others like to gamble. And I think
some like to do it all.
Yeah, some like to do it all. So, there's just a lot of opportunity. I think people really want to know how to do it and how to do it right and what they should look for to try and get that advantage or edge so that they're collecting rather than paying. So I'm excited. I think, there was a TV show on CNBC that had my face up there, and as a joke, a guy said, you look back on time and prohibition, when alcohol was illegal. Now that's legal. Marijuana was illegal. Now that's legal. Gambling was illegal, and that's legal. Maybe Tim Donaghy should get his job back. I think that it was kind of comical that he said that, but times are changing, and I think people are going to enjoy it moving forward.
Tim, I've asked you this question before. How much of an impact did the scandal of '07 have to do with this becoming legal? Adam Silver was an advocate right off the bat. So do you think that your scandal with Batista and Tommy had anything to do with this ruling? You're just your own opinion, of course.
I think it had a lot to do with it, Dan, because I think it brought the fact that people just love to gamble. And when David Stern went on ESPN and said, legal gambling will, cost you your job and illegal gambling will cost you your freedom, he didn't realize that he had 60 NBA referees that were gambling on a consistent basis at casinos or on football or, on the golf course or playing cards. And once they did their investigation and realized that, everybody was gambling, they couldn't fire everybody, that, it just brought it to the forefront that everybody loves to do it. And I think the new age of NBA owners backed that up, guys like Mark Cuban, and told them, listen, this is what's going on. We need to jump on board and figure out what's going on here with this because at some point this is going to become legal. And the NBA is always one step ahead of every other professional sports league. And it shows with this. They're ready to capitalize on it. They're ready to take their revenue to a whole nother level, and they're going to, be successful in it.
Well, they were the front runners, the NFL, of course, with Roger Goodell, who I can't stomach. He seems to be the baby out of the bunch. That guy getting $47 million a year, or whatever he's making, is insane, number one.
Probably get more now.
Well, who knows? But anyway, I'm so glad that we got this show going with Matt and Chris here from the Fantasy Network. Tim, you're going to be in Manhattan, right here in the studio on June 7th. Who will we see in the finals when you're here on June 7th?
I'm still a firm believer Cleveland's going to come back and take care of Boston. I think it's going to be tough, but there's a lot of value in that right now, and I think Cleveland's going to get it done. Dan, you and I have talked about this for years, how LeBron always turns it into a second gear when he has to, and he's at that point when he has to. And also, I think that Houston's hungry. To that extent, I think Houston's a tough team. I think Chris Paul is hungry, and I think that Houston's going to get it done. So right now, I'm thinking we're going to have a Cleveland-Houston NBA Finals, and there's a lot of value if that happens. So we'll see what happens when we're in New York City in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I have to agree. I like what I see in Houston. You ask LeBron, no big deal. He'll push it Game 7 just for the ratings, and he'll put away Boston, I think. I would hope so anyway. But anyway, you need to read Tim's book, Personal Foul. It really takes a deep look at what happened. You hear this, you hear that. Read the book. It's an easy read. You won't put the
Any
book
pictures?
down.
Good pictures on my phone when I get there. I save that stuff for just the close friends.
When
You got a bunch of close friends on Got You Covered Sports, Tim, so don't be shy.
But anyway, I want to thank Tim Donaghy from refpicks.com, author of Personal Foul, for spending time with us today. Follow Tim. Give him some love. refpicks.com. Tim Donaghy, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for joining us, pal.
You got it, buddy.
Anyway, thanks for joining us. Visit us at dbwins.com. Grab that $29 membership. Guaranteed to hit 55% or the next month is free. We're out of here.
You've been watching Gotcha Covered Sports, your one-stop shop for gambling and fantasy tips and sports talk.